Hey everyone, I hope y'all have a good day. I just got home from college, so I'm gonna start the summertime. So, yeah. So, I'm back in my old room, back at home. And today's subject is faith as a black autistic woman. Well, talk about faith as a black autistic woman, that I meant to say. So, and the way I thought about it, because I remember last month I had to speak at a figure like Wesley Sociology Seminary College. I think I remember how. I think is it correct? So I remember like doing autism awareness accepting mom. They had asked me if I want to be a guest speaker for the event, and they gonna pay me for it. And the subject of that talk about faith and advocacy, and the purpose of the event to talk about how you know they how the church and everything else be more inclusive to other different group of member who probably underrepresented, and how to better serve them. And for me, like, better um especially me as a black autistic woman, I thought a very interesting subject because like a lot of time, I have a hard time talk about, my faith and my spirituality. Because growing up, like I have, go to church, but majority of my life I kind of been in and out of church for majority of my life. So I do know what God is, and just he all about love and do not judge people. And I do believe that. So I remember one time I tried to read the whole book, the Bible, one point, but I never got a chance to. So I was curious there growing up. I remember used a few times, especially growing up, me being different, and just use the Bible, give it some wisdom and give it some have some faith in myself more, and just have a little courage. But of course, like growing up, self hatred as an autistic person, dealing with other issues in my life, and along the way, growing up, how the church criticized homosexuality, like you are going to hell kind of vibe, and for like a very long time, I really like conflicted, basically come to LGBTQ plus community, and like they keep saying like they love thy neighbor, but when it comes to LGBTQ plus people, you are going to hell. I don't like that. I really do not like that, and that could be why I have like a icky feeling every time I go to church. Every time they mention about that, I cringe. It's happened every time they mention about it. I cringe. Like I'd be like, why? Say you don't like people and you just hate and be a bigot. So just say that. And not just they target LGBTQ plus community. Of course, they judging people as general, as general. Like we not supposed to judge people, but we do anyway because we are human. And of course, it's our institute judge people. But basically, like with the church and stuff, like it's just sad they're using a bad way, and just it's not only like hurtful but dangerous when you send that message to people. And then of course you hear about church or Catholic Church, where you do talk about within Christianity. We got some pastors being you know you know being um molester, some a liar, cheater, all this stuff. And then the people in the church are, you know, hypocrite. And let's say hypocrite. Cause it's said that there's some people use the Bible for hate. It's sad. And I went to that event last month. I thought was a very good conversation, and I think it was me and two other people. One person. It was two. It was two people. One, who got out from prison, trying to get back to that, get back to the community. After being spending time in prison for a while, that's trying to reconnect and try to serve those who have been to prison and try to reconnect to back to the community. And the other person is a trans woman, but I think that person who was a trans woman did not come up, but something had happened. So with me and the other person had to carry on the event, and I know they talk about it, especially when it comes to disability, because a lot of times, especially with the church, like they use like phrase like once you turn like you blind, you could see they could move your blind or you deaf, some kind of term relating to the disability community, like get some metaphor they used back then, like used to be blind, now you could see some kind of stuff. And basically with the church, like they use a form of religion model of disability, like they pray over your disability, that you could overcome your disability and all this stuff. Like you could beat it, where it may be the case. But basically with that, I had people pray over me that, I could talk, I could overcome my disability. They didn't say like that, overcome my disability, like don't let it define you, Cal. Like don't let autism define me. But they probably not be realizing that my disability can impact me, how I think, see things in the world. Like it gon' make me see things different though who not have that neurotypical brain. So like I'm not typical. Um, I'm neurodivergent. So I'm probably gonna see things differently than those who don't have autism or who are non-autistic. So it's gonna be hard. Like for those who not autistic, it's gonna be hard. Like they don't know what autistic people have to go through and things like that. Shoot, I know some people who are advocates like me. Some are Christian, some just an atheist, some do with other religion as well. Some of autistic people are atheist. Some are Christian, Muslim, or whatever religion, or they don't, or they don't. Or they talk about their spirituality. But for me, like even though growing up, I do identify as a Christian. But recently now I'm kind of like trying to distance myself away from Christianity, because how people within Christianity have been using the Bible for hate and do not want to be part of it. The religion is fine, but the people within is not happen. Like we got people just criticize people, and now which is what's going on right now. Some people who are some Christian like to use the Bible for hate and justify that why you're going to hell and blah 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 because you gay or you this and then that. But then all the time they do the exact same thing in the name of God. I don't get people, to be honest with y'all. I just don't get people. I really don't get people. I was never gonna stand people, and they never gonna stand me. So basically, like, with the event, I talk about with me growing up in the church. I told I'm in our church majority of my life, had to believe, in God. But now, like, my spirituality may be different now. Like, I do have Christian belief. I do have that belief in me, but I think I'm going to use it in a different way, because how the modern day church be doing it, I'm not with it. Because I remember one time my crush back in high school, I think he married now and have a child and, living somewhere I don't even know. And I remember one time, I don't know it back in 2020 or 2021. I really don't remember what at the time. I don't know. I remember I saw the post said, yes, I have friends who are trans or part of the LGBT community, you know, he's saying not perfect and all this stuff where baby K and he talked about, I don't believe in the modern church and you're not supposed to judge people and all this stuff. I can't remember how he said it, but I definitely agree. Like, I agree with him on that one because, yes, I do believe in God. I do believe, growing up, I did have that belief. But what I'm seeing right now is just a hot freaking mess. Like, I don't want to be in a church or have people who think, they good people, but all the time they not. Don't get me wrong, we're not born perfect except God and his son, Jesus Christ. But other people might be Allah, Muhammad. I let me know, y'all, because I don't know every other religion. I just know some basic because I don't even know. Okay? I just don't know. Okay? I just don't know. So, yeah, I just don't, believe like I used to. Despite that, I do have some Christian belief in me, but now I just decolonizing my mind, like, ever since I came an activist, I started seeing things differently, and I don't want to be part of the church or the or group of Christian people just go and judge people based on your disability, race, sex, etc. We supposed to say love thy neighbor, but we don't even do that in our daily life. Like, I just don't get it, and I would never gonna understand why they don't get it. And just sad that some people think this way, but ain't surprised. It's just like I told the people at the event, like, I think, like, in order, like, Christianity or people in the church to include disabled people, do not make them feel shame for existing. Like, for real. For majority of my life, of course, I go to church, have people say a prayer on my disability, and all this stuff going on. Just, even though something might be good, have good intention, but sometimes others don't. Like, it's just sad that some people think like this and not think about the consequences, how they may be affecting disabled people and just especially autistic people. And I'll quote that some Christian think that, based on the Bible, vaccine causes this and all this nonsense, pray about it, all this stuff. It's like, it's different on autistic people. Like, majority of my life, I be hearing, pray over your disability. Don't let autism define you. This is what you have, where baby decay. And sometimes they use certain words that kind of like, well, now they use it intentionally. Like, they keep harming disabled people in a way that and not gonna help. And something like my disability in particular, it lasts long. Like, how you deal with it. And plus, the church is not accessible to basically neurodivergent people and all disabled people in general because, like, they don't have, sign language or ASL, which is American Sign Language, or other sign language, but for blind people, friendly sensory for autistic people, have accessibility wheelchair for, wheelchair user. It's like the church not very accessible to disabled people, and how do they be using very very ableism? So because basically people have have a whole lot of internalized ableism and don't know better and thinking that if that person do have a disability, they're like, oh, you could overcome your disability, or say something that may be degrading or not realizing what they're saying is very degrading to disabled person. Like, growing up, like, basically as an autistic person, yes, like, basically when it comes to music particular, you're in the black church, you have playing music like, your feet like, you know how the black church, we be lit in church, okay? period. Okay. But I don't know, growing up, I don't know, I was overwhelmed, or it's just me being autistic person had to mask at the time because nothing had been accessible to me growing up, except, go to school, get test accommodation. But my everyday life, probably not. I'm kind of back in survival mode majority of the time because I don't think the church ever accessible to me. I don't even think so, but maybe when they get with my family, maybe have cookout stuff, so I go to the room, and they had no problem with me doing that. But sometimes they be kind of like, Kayla, you need to talk more, whatever it may be the case. But they may not be realized I could be overstimulated without even knowing it. And to be honest with y'all, I still don't know how to accommodate myself. Like I said, I'm in survival mode. I'm just living day by day and not thinking about how I'm going to accommodate myself because I don't know. So I'm still trying to figure myself out as an autistic person. But majority of my life, nothing has been acceptable to me except for school accommodation. Other than that, no. Then my first experience I had accommodation. But I went to one van a year before the pandemic with Autistic Career Summit, all the way in NC State. And plus, I live in North Carolina, to let y'all know I live in North Carolina. And I went to NC State. It's like an hour, 2 hour away. So I can't remember how long that ride from Winston-Salem to Raleigh. I can't remember. But anyway, other than that, so I went there, talk about me, guest speaker, and other 4 career professionals who also autistic. And we talk about what it like to be in the career, things like that, get other students at NC State, some advice, things like that. And so I remember that event alone was very accommodating for the first time. I did school accommodation the first time. Ain't that something? I'm not used to have accommodation for me. Not used to it. And that was a surprise. So, yeah. And I don't think the church particular ever think about disability advocacy work at all. Like I said before, they feel internalized ableism, like everything with other ism as well, like homophobia, transphobia, sexism, all this stuff. And plus, the church is very conservative majority of the time. So it's kind of like, yeah. Even though there's some churches try to be progressive, like I think it's like one church there at my school, they call Method Church. United Method. I can't remember the name, but they're very inclusive to LGBTQ plus students about faith, and I thought it was very interesting. And basically, it comes to faith because speaking on that subject, I did not know there are churches very inclusive to LGBTQ plus community. I did not know that. Because the majority of the church I've been for, predominantly, conservative, cisgender, straight, etc. Negative. That is. And plus, all the church, I went to all black church, so, yeah. I think I've been to one white church. I forgot what it's called. But I can't remember. Other than that, yeah. But, yeah. Not me awareness, though. But, yeah. So, and that pastor who also advisor to the club for LGBTQ plus student on campus. He part of the LGBTQ plus community. So that really interesting having a pastor who also part of the LGBTQ plus community. And I remember we have one of our club meeting, and we talk about that subject about faith or Christianity or religion and LGBTQ plus. And he, who the advisor of that club, said out his loud saying, "I am sorry." And I felt that in my soul because I have been harmed by the church, but majority of the time, it kind of be being relating to my disability in particular. Cause like I know, like I remember one time, my cousin who was a pastor on my mom's side of the family, we went to the church, of course Sunday, church day and talk about God and all this stuff. One day he talked about that I overcome my disability. And at the time, I feel it internalized ableism back then because I didn't know better. Because back then, I feel shame on myself because the Bible said this, or people around me think about autism and all, or disability in general. It's not that great. And of course, when they talk about LGBTQ plus community, like they go on the hair shit. So it's like, and plus, at the time, during my teenage year, I would question my sexuality. And speaking of that, my sexuality, I was having a hard time. Like, I remember one time when I tried to look for a college, in North Carolina. And especially when every time I see a college have like a religion affiliation with them, I feel some type of way. Like, what if I come out? Are they gonna judge me? Cause I remember asking that question, like, are they gonna judge me? Because majority of my life, because I be hearing like, if you part LGBTQ plus community, you are going to hell. It's a sin, what they call it, a sin. You are going to hell, whatever may be the case. So yeah. So every time I see like a college with a religion affiliation, I feel some type of way. And the good that I did because I don't want to be in that environment that I don't feel safe in. So, and I thought that a real good conversation to have, at the event I went to. How, the faith community, especially with Christianity, how to support people in the disability community, how to be more inclusive and watch the language and all this stuff. And also being more inclusive to the LGBTQ plus community and all this stuff. The kind of good thing because like it needs to be changed. People need to change their perspective and work on their ableism and the other biases as well because I'm getting the point like basically with that day and age, people still ain't working their biases. Like, what in the hell going on? We're supposed to like love our neighbor, treat with people respect, but no, we treat people like crap. And if that's what's going on right now, especially in my country, particular USA, I bet y'all from different countries like, what in the beat is going on in my country? So anyway, especially in majority in the conservative state, they're passing anti-trans law. It's like over 100 of them. It's ridiculous. It's like what we do, what LGBTQ plus community, especially trans people do to y'all. Like what they do? Nothing. And then use the Bible to justify their bigotry. What's it big? You don't use the Bible for your hate. You use the Bible for love. So, and people with different religion, and especially Christianity, work on your biases and do better. And stop harming the community that you're trying to help. So yeah, do better. Be more close to everybody. And do not keep saying that you are going to hell but based on this and this and this and this. Y'all need to look yourself in the mirror. Are y'all being a hypocrite? Are you doing the same BS that they doing? If so, you need to stop talking. You make yourself move up a hypocrite. So, do better. And stop making excuses. Work on your biases and be more inclusive to disabled people and other marginalized community. And do better. And also, if y'all want to follow me on my Patreon or go to my Clubhouse. Oh, that's right. I got a Clubhouse now. So, it's exciting. So, I just started a Clubhouse. I just created an account on Clubhouse. And if y'all want to have a conversation with me, for now I just following people on the Clubhouse thing right now, but I think I might create me some, conversation within Clubhouse. So yeah, I have a Clubhouse, and And the name, my username on Clubhouse is The Real Kayla Smith. So, yeah. Also, if you want to follow me on my Patreon, talk about different subjects, where maybe okay, follow me on Patreon. And you will see in my description. So, yeah. So, this is gonna be exciting. Bye, y'all.